Okay then, Mike, so defeat this afternoon, what's the initial reaction to that?
Just huge disappointment. The performance was, we've gone back a series of weeks there. We're building really well. We obviously won a tight game. We won a game at Cancer, and we've prepared really well again this week. So, but what you saw out there today was complete opposite of what the game plan was. So that's something we've got to have a real sit down and look at as to why we're not executing the plan. And then just compounded that with just an unbelievable amount of errors. I can't remember us ever making that many errors in a game. So got to get on board and stick to plan together, and then work out how we eradicate the errors that we're coming up with at the minute.
Yeah, no, a lot of errors, particularly handling errors. Was it just a situation maybe we're just trying to force things a little bit, trying to chase the game?
No, not at all. No, there's just the outside backs contributed to probably nearly 10 errors or simple skill. At the end, obviously chasing the game, so there's going to be a bit around that. But no, there was just an obscene amount of errors from the outside backs in particular, and a lack of direction from the spine, which were the main concerns. The middles of the pack was fine; they did their job. It was the spine, execute the plan, and the number of errors from the outside backs today.
I mean, as far as the preparation, you talk about a good week and kind of the mood around the boys today. Were you not saying necessarily confident, but did you envisage maybe this performance coming today, or were you really surprised?
Yeah, no, it was an interesting learn today, Jake. I knew that we would have either gone into the game with lots of confidence and won the game, or we'd have got ahead of ourselves. And the answer was we massively got ahead of ourselves. The reality of where we're at and the dogfight that we're in at the bottom of the table has massively hit us back in the face today. So it was always going to go one or two ways today in terms of carrying on this momentum and the confidence being a good thing, or getting slightly ahead of ourselves. And just to be fair as well, I mean, we were really poor today. I actually think it's one of the poorest performances of the season, to be honest with you. But I also thought Doncaster, they've been travelling pretty well. I thought they were good, and some of their individuals has won in the game today.
Mike, obviously there's not still that much of a gap between yourselves and the sides above you, but we're getting to that stage of the season where games are ticking down. How much concern is it that you might end up in that sort of Super 8s?
We are in the bottom 8s. Don't worry about that. I'm not even looking at the table. Too many people within the camp are looking at the table, and it's the wrong thing to do. We shouldn't be looking at anything outside the bottom 4. We shouldn't be looking at playoffs. We shouldn't be looking at anything. We should be looking at performance, and we should be looking at building some momentum, because that's how it starts. The minute you start looking ahead of it yourself and chasing teams down, the minute you take your eye off the ball. We didn't execute the plan today. If we did, we'd have won the game. And I think we're too distracted with that type of stuff. So, but that's a huge lesson in that today.
Yeah. Is it? I guess it's the same sort of thing then, because obviously there's all sorts of rumours doing the rounds about restructuring and things like that, whether Broncos might end up back in an expanded Super League. How easy is it to sort of shuttle that sort of talk out?
No, it doesn't affect us one bit, one iota. The issue we've got is looking at the table. It's just absolutely irrelevant. We're that far behind, we will be in the bottom 4. If we can put some good performances together and get some results, who knows, you get some momentum by the back end of the year and you could get yourself out of the bottom 4, which would be great. But the mentality has to be that, you know, we're in a tough spot, so we have to just ignore the table. And if we put a series of performances on the arch, we could get out of the bottom 4. But the mentality is that we've got to build towards the end of the year and be in the best shape we can be at the back end of the year. And like I say, if we squeak out, brilliant. You know, if we don't, we're in good shape. So, and that's all centred around how good performances can be and how cohesive we can be and the combinations we can build between now and the back end of the year.
Is it a case of sort of trying to tap into that mentality and that from a couple of years ago when you went on that amazing run and trying to take some lessons from that and applying it to this situation?
Yeah, I think so. But in terms of last year, it was to build to get promoted. This year, it's to build to be in a good position at the back end of the year to either get yourself out of that bottom 4, or if you're in the bottom 4, you're in a good spot to kind of be competitive and make sure that you don't get relegated. So we can never get ahead of where we were, you know, in January when we're playing Gould where we were before that and the number of players we didn't have. The minute we get ahead of ourselves and start thinking about anything other than that is the minute we'll get burnt. So we need to stay really frosty. We need to, keep great humility about what we're doing, and I think we've got it wrong this week.
Yeah. On a more sort of general point, just to finish off as well, I touched on there might be changes coming with expanded Super League. Now, there's also a talk we might see a merged Championship and League One coming out of this proposal. Would that be something you're in favour of? Do you see that being workable or anything like that?
Oh, completely no comment. I'm not fussed, to be honest with you. I've heard that myself, but I really don't know how it would look. Or we've just got to stay really single-minded to the job at hand at the minute. I think my opinion on London and Super League, but we're talking about London and Super League, and we're in a dogfight at the bottom end, and it's the wrong messages to be sending out to associate us with Super League. What happens within the game happens within the game, but it affects my changing room when you start thinking about Super League and bigger and better. We're in a dogfight at the bottom end of the Championship, and we've got to get out of that first.